Good morning and welcome to the Board of Education Facilities Committee meeting on March 20th. I call this meeting to order. I need an approval of the agenda, but we need to delete an item. The tennis courts bids for construction need to be deleted because we're still working on them. Oh, and surplus inventory needs to be deleted as well because we didn't have any.
Motion to approve with the changes, with the amendment.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Burnett.
Okay. I can go as detailed as you all like on a presentation, but for the public's benefit, this CIP was presented in January and in February, and during that time we've had other discussions and meetings, and we have landed on what's before you now, which is a CIP for $17,288,874. That incorporates the comments from the last Facilities Committee meeting. Just to highlight that, we added painting, and that was $960,000 worth. That's on the page 2 of the memo. And so we did a 3-year painting plan. Basically, that is 2005, meaning the year that it was last painted, 2005. That would be this first year. 2006 and 6 and 7 would be the second year. And then the third year would be years 7 and 8. So that it was $960,000 the first year, $780,000 the second year, and $870,000 the third year. We also added $110,000 for CATA doors and windows. We deducted $65,000 on the Monroe Middle School locker project. And there was a question about Indian Trail auditorium, and we wanted to keep that in as far as windows and flooring, and that was more of an environmental issue. Recall a couple months ago, we have an HVAC project that's underway there, and we had identified a problem in the auditorium. We were looking at a HVAC solution for that, but determined that really we need to replace the windows that was causing damage in that facility. And that really brings us up to date, and happy to.
Summary now touches 38 schools, places 20 maintenance vehicles, allocates $1.2 million for safety and security, $500,000 for ADA, $4.7 million for building systems, $8.4 for expansions and renovations, $1.3 for fixtures and
furniture and equipment,
and $960,000 for school life. That's awesome.
And if you all have any specific questions, we'd be happy to try to address them.
This is exactly what I was looking for from our last meeting, so this looks really good. And thank you for putting together that 3-year painting plan. I appreciate that.
Christina, do you have any questions?
No.
So we need a motion to recommend to the Board of Education the approval of that. What's that?
Send it to Finance. Okay. Okay, I make a motion that we send the 2019-20 capital improvement plan as presented today to the Finance Committee.
Second.
I would also like to add, I assume you guys continue to look at this plan, so if there's any changes between now and then,
okay,
let us know. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
So that's to the Finance. Okay, construction update.
All right. And again, I can go as detailed as you want on this, but as far as overall bond, we have all 7 projects are either underway or are substantially complete. Transportation Center is the newest project that is getting underway. The contractor does have approval to start grading. And the last word that we had that they were planning to start March 25th it sounded as though they might entertain starting earlier than that, but again, that's up to the contractor. First thing that they have to do is to construct the drive, because if you remember that our property is remote, so we have to construct the drive to be able to access the property. Monroe High School additions renovations, got some pictures there. What you'll see is
We were in the auditorium.
A week ago on Saturday. It's beautiful.
Good.
It really is. There was a community event there, and it was everybody was amazed by it. So
Very
Excellent.
nice.
we
Good
told
to
them
hear.
that that was their tax dollars at work.
There you
So-
go. There you go. So as far as the classroom addition, as you see, definitely we have a very recognizable structure. CMU concrete block is complete. Steel is complete. They're working on mechanical, plumbing, electrical trades right now. Project is 67% complete as far as pay application goes. We have some pending change orders coming up, so probably in the next month's construction change order update. it'll be in
Significant or not?
there. No,
No, good. Okay.
Sun Valley High School additions, renovations. So certainly, this is a large project, and the weather has just had a significant impact, to the schedule. Very unfortunate, but we finally this week are having some production, and so it's long overdue. But currently, the contractor is projecting completion, or we'll say substantial completion, of the dining, kitchen, admin, and CTE classrooms in the September time frame. But we will see. Certainly, if we can do things to speed that up, we will. But it is still weather dependent, and if we continue to have weather that we have, then that schedule will continue to be moved back.
I just want to add, I think that is optimistic. They've got a lot of work to do out there. We've had a lot of rain. And so, as I have shared with you all before, all bets are off right now. We'll get it as quickly as we can, but we've had historic rainfall. We've had soil problems out there. It's just been a one thing after the other. So I have talked to Dr. Harvey about it, so he knows exactly where we are, and he's been attending the meetings, either him or his assistant principals, so they're in the loop as well.
And I certainly would want to second that. We will have a much better feel for the schedule when we have all the foundations and concrete slabs, up. And at that point, the contractor will make a schedule, and it should be one that we can rely on. Really, it's preliminary now, so it's hard to tell at the moment. But I will tell you that they have some footings in. It's not at this particular area. They are working out in the near the stadium area, and so they're working there first, and they're just working where they can.
Right.
And to mention, we mentioned this last time. We had some unsuitable soils in the building pad area of the CTE and admin area of the school. Still working through that. Porter Ridge Middle School and High School additions. Really, most of the work is focused at the middle school. The contractor has CMU. Concrete block, and at the classroom buildings, and was continuing to work also at the auxiliary gym. The photos show a CMU wall is going up at the auxiliary gym, and you can see a little bit about the site conditions that they've been dealing with there too. Very wet conditions, and that was taken since the last project facilities committee meeting. That project is approximately 38% complete, and the contract value hasn't changed. Jumping over to CIP, we have ADA bids that are coming up. We've got a pre-bid meeting scheduled for today at Sun Valley Middle School. We have a bid date of April 11th. Tennis court additions and replacement, we had some unfortunate news and we did strike that from the agenda. We did hope to be able to award the tennis court expansion and replacement projects at CATA, Forest Hills, Parkwood, Piedmont, and Porter Ridge High School. We bid that originally, I think it was March 1st. We received 0 bids. We rebid it and gave a little bit more time on the rebid. We received 2 bids. We were able to open those. We're well over budget, and so we're working with the contractor and the consultant to see if we can't get that project back closer to the budgeted funds. And we hope that that is something we can come back to this committee prior to the April board meeting if we're successful on that. Forest Hills High School and Prospect Sewer replacement, that's also in design, and we'll be going out to bid here shortly. Let's see.
Weddington and Porter Ridge track.
Yes.
What kind of county approval are we waiting for?
Just needed to adjust some of the how the funds had been shown, and just needed agreement. Thought that it would be an administrative approval, but I think they wanted to go to the board just to make sure everything was like they wanted it to be.
Okay, next.
Let's see, Indian Trail, that it's an HVAC project. It's we'll call it a multi-phase project where we're working at the where we have opportunity to work. So taking advantage of the winter break, spring break, and then the summer. So that project is 35% complete, and really no issues that I'm aware of there. We've got the Marshville window project that's been awarded, and we're waiting for that project will begin in the summertime when the students aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And that wraps up construction update.
Thank you.
We already talked about the change order.
We didn't talk about this change order. So for the change order update, Sun Valley High School, it's a $0 change. We're actually just doing a draw from the construction CM at risk contingency. It's a draw of $128,000, and but again, it's a $0 change order, and that was for track curb and drain and some of the concrete for field events. The unsuitable soils hasn't been quantified total yet, and we'll note it probably at the next meeting.
Next item, building and zoning permits. That's just an FYI.
Any concerns or anything that stands out that you're keeping your eye on?
Definitely going down year over year.
Mhm.
On that last chart.
That's right.
Yeah. Continue to
Yeah, the only thing that we've had some recent discussions on is just making sure that that everything is known for all the various towns and zoning approval agencies. We had one, as an example, we talked about the Sun Valley. There's a Sun Valley area development that was coming up, and that was in Union County, and we just need to make sure that Union County knows what's going on with the town of Indian Trail and the town of and the village of Wesley Chapel, and that all that is all that information is known for those folks.
Are you getting updates from Stallings and Hemby Bridge?
I can check with Don Ergram.
Okay.
I'm not aware that we're getting things from Henry Bridge, but I could be wrong on that. So Don is the person I'll have to ask.
Okay. That was the last item. Our next meeting is supposed to be April 17th. We're going to move the time of the meetings to 8:30 from now on.
And we may need to have that meeting before the board meeting.
We might have to have another one. Right. We'll let everybody know. But our regularly scheduled monthly meeting. So I need a motion to adjourn. So there's one item that's going to the Finance Committee, just the 1920 CIP. That was it. Okay. So a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Christina.